Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to RTG TV. Change of plans for what you thought may have been the final round, but we are going to extend to 13 rounds. So not a title decider today, but the championship is still well and truly on. As I said, we're at the Sale International Circuit. This track has 16 corners. It's 7 to the left and 9 to the right. It's one DRS zone. It's 5.419 kilometres and 3.367 miles in length. I haven't got the tyres down. It's one thing I forgot. Maybe Lee can fill us in a minute. As I said, it's been around since 2021.
C321.
C3 soft, C2 mediums, and C1 hard tyre. So as I said, the championship is still well and truly on. 187 points for Pippo Kennedy in first place and 185 points for Chuck in second, a 2-point deficit to Pippo. Tiny in third place, who's now technically back in the championship fight on 121 points, and 119 points for Chuckle, and Ginge is on 100 and sorry, not Ginge. Coix Gamer is on 119, 117 points for Chuckle, and Ginge is on 104 in sixth, and the last driver into the 100 points. Aston Martin are leading the constructors on 281 and 260 points for Williams. So those two still fighting for the for the team championship, and Mercedes are 184 points in third place. So, as I said, not the title decider, but hopefully it'll be as good as it has been all season long. As you've already heard, and with Lee, we've got 16 drivers this evening, potentially another one to show up a bit later on. Yeah, anyway, with Lee, welcome, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. Just on board with all we know as he's coming around the final corner on the intermediates. But yeah, looking forward to this race. I mean, Qatar, it's always a good race. I mean, it was originally built for MotoGP, like motorbike racing, but here we are. And yeah, the characteristics of this track is quite sort of like long flowing corners rather than like the old school sort of corners that you would usually get.
Yeah, this is definitely a qualifying track, isn't it, more than a race track? Yeah. Arguably one of the best qualifying tracks of the year, I'd say.
Possibly.
Intermediate championship going on. Lee Tidy leading that one. Technically hasn't got the crown yet, as we've got this extended season. We didn't have the intermediate championship last week because we did short qualifying due to low numbers, which was 16, same we've got today. And we didn't do it in China because that was a wet qualifying session. So this would be round 8 of intermediate championship of the 10 races we've had so far. And it looks like, with how much time we've got left on the clock, we've still got 4.5 minutes. We've still got time for drivers to do an intermediate lap. Ginge being one of them, and Coix Gamer being the other now, as he makes his way through the penultimate corner of turn 13. 15, sorry, not 13. And now into the final corner of turn 16. And it's a long old run to the line. The updated circuit for F124 Lee has the line a lot closer, actually, by just after the DRS line.
Yeah, I did notice that that is a lot quicker. I mean, like coming up on you out the final corner, it's sort of right there almost. But yeah, having a look at the game, it does look kind of the same but different at the same time. 2 seconds. Like, I did notice the...
it's a lot more filled out. Sorry.
I would say when I was looking at Spa, the rain looked a bit better. But other than that, it was pretty much nothing really to really
they put the new grandstands in and things, and they put the gravel trap on the exit of turn 1 as well.
Have you seen Sparto?
Yes.
Stavolo? Oh,
yeah.
The wall of death.
Yes.
That was just...
Is it? So I thought it was still there for some reason, but it hasn't been there for years.
No, it's not been there for a good while, I don't think.
Ginge is
It'd be
the
a
last,
silly place to put it.
Yeah, Ginge is the last driver to do an intermediate lap, and he's actually invalidated. But yeah, the Qatar updates are definitely noticeable. It's more of the scenic aspect, isn't it? There's a lot more in the background, especially at night. And when you look at it compared to this one looks just empty, really, the skyline, where it actually is. And the other thing they've done, of course, as well, is update this pit lane where we ride on pole with Ginge into the pits, where it's now on the start-finish straight, they dive in, not at the last corner. And I actually kind of preferred this old pit lane entry than the new one. I actually prefer it when they peel off before the start-finish.
Yeah, because remember, was it France it used to be like that? Where you came in on the start-finish straight, but then they changed it to like, as you were going into the penultimate corner or something. It did seem a bit safer and more logical, I would say, to do it that way. Like here as well, for instance, it would be better having it before the final corner, I would say.
Yeah, like it does, and it's quite a tricky corner actually into the pit lane here as well. It's not the easiest.
Yeah, true. It's quite narrow, if I remember right, is it?
A 122.3 for Prof. Now, Lee, you were here a few weeks back, maybe a month ago or so. What was the racing like in GP1 from what you can remember?
I can't remember. I honestly can't recall. I've just had that much going on recently that, yeah, it's not been there, so my bad. It's just been, yeah.
Chuck going fastest. I have got a benchmark. I didn't find out. I got a 120.8. That was actually a time trial time at the start of the game. It'd be interesting to see if we can beat that time trial time now. I've got a
time of a 120.330. That was season 13, round 5 of Brandon, I think it was.
Oh, nice. Okay. Dario on a lap and goes wide there at the exit of turn 5, and then goes wide again at turn 6. We've got Little Mo back again as a reserve. Haven't seen him for a little while. One of my other FIFA friends. Yes, Lee, sorry, you are not the only one. We are not in a...
Oh my god.
Is it, which way round is it? Monogamy or non-monogamy? Which way is around is it? Anyway, we're not an item in FIFA, Lee, basically. I'm sorry to say.
Cool beans, mate.
The thing is, I have to switch it up because, I need to find someone competitive.
Okay. Just so you wait, Sonny Jim. I've got something coming for you in a wee bit.
Oh, I'm scared. Oh, no. Dario peeling off now, and Little Mo... we're going to let him off because he hasn't been round for a while. He's doing an intermediate lap. Arguably, in our eyes, the checker flag fell 3.5 minutes ago. But we'll let him see what he can do.
I was about to say, is he even going to get back round? Is he going to be able to have that time? Oh, and he's fluffed it. He's fluffed it at the first corner.
Ginge on a lap proper this time, and on the red-banded slick tyre into turn 6. It's a corner where you brake quite late, actually, around 40 metres before the corner. Again, the same scenario for turn 7, a much longer corner, and then into turn 8, which I find, if you're looking at the apex of turn 9 there, you can invalidate through turn 8 quite easily. This corner, understeer City. Turns 10, and then 11 is a nothing corner, and then we got the triple right at 12, 13 and 14, which is a roller coaster on wheels.
Yeah, we'll certainly say the triple right-hander is quite an exceptional corner, reminding me of a little bit of Qatar. of the final few corners there. Ginge now to the line, see if he's got what it takes. Goes 7th, 122.362. Only got 3 drivers still set times.
And we've only got one driver that's going to be out in this session as well.
That's going to be a little more.
Could be.
He's going again on the intermediates. You might just be wanting to start at the back, maybe.
Maybe. Potentially, is he just calling our bluff, Lee, and going to go around for the majority of the lap and then come in at the last corner because you'd still have time to get another set of tyres on and get back out?
True.
I've said this before to you, Lee. I do like this track, but I find it, I think maybe in F124 and beyond, it might get a bit better with, as I said, more scenery put into the background. But I find this track so disorientating because I don't find many reference points here at all. And I'm not one to not be very good at sense of direction, actually quite the opposite, but I struggle around here sometimes to know where I am on the circuit and which corner is coming up next. I don't know if you've ever noticed the same.
I mean, a lot sometimes. I'm starting to get the use of it just now. Like, it's been slowly coming to us, pretty much. I mean, I would say possibly turn 5 and turn 4, sorry. Turn 7, I think it is, that kind of, I get confused about sometimes, and then, yeah, it's a bit of annoyance because some corners do look the same. 2 seconds.
So this one where it goes up to 14th, and he did complete the lap, and it looks like he's going to be the one out in Q1 as long as everyone else gets to complete a lap here. Chuckle on his flying lap now. Going up to turn 4. Just a slight lift through that corner, and again through turn 5. Braking around 40 metres before the corner, gentle on the right pedal, and get back to full throttle, move over to the left hand side, and then we've got the long 180 degree turn 7 up next after that. And then, as I said, this slight left to turn 8 and into the flat out turn 9. It'll get more of a struggle in race conditions with full fuel, and then later on with worn tyres to keep your foot flat through that set of corners. Turn 11 and now the mighty 12, 13 and 14. Keep your foot in it for the first 2, and there might have to be a blend out and a downshift, which it was through turn 14. And now turn 15, again quite quick, just a little lift and back on the throttle again. And then arguably the most important corner on the circuit, the final corner, because you've got such a long run to the line. Use all the curb on the outside, DRS open, and then hope and pray you've got a good lap under your belt. 122 dead for Chuckle. Is Dario going to knock his teammates out of qualifying? We've got just over a minute to go in the session, and Dario has invalidated his lap time. All he needs to do is put in a better lap than a 126.8 to get himself through to Q2. And he's not got a lot of battery on board to deploy. And what's he looking like on the fuel? He's got 1.4 laps of fuel left, so he's got enough time to get a lap in, but not if he goes wide like that, Lee. Little Mo potentially is on to go through into Q2 as he goes wide again. He should have invalidated by the black and white of the rule book, but he hasn't. He's just got to keep it on the track, Lee, and get a better than a 126.8, which on slick tyres should be quite easy. But he's got no battery left, and he's not going to have any battery in the last sector. He's gone wide again, Lee. I don't know how he's been able to keep
playing with fire.
His lap. If I was Little Mo as well, I'd be appealing that all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen this happening. It's a bit shocking. He's just managing to keep it in on the track. We've got the triple right-hander of 12, 13 and 14 just coming up. We'll see how he's going to fare now. One more corner, and he's invalidated, and he's fluffed it up. Little Mo's got through on the inters. Unless, is he going to get enough time to get back around?
No,
He's not got the fuel, though.
No, he's not got enough time.
That's that. Oh, bomber on Dario.
Oh, I don't think Little Mo was expecting to get himself into Q2 as we wait for him to cross the line. And it says on my screen that we have 17 now.
Oh.
Have we got 17? No, it still says... Oh, that was weird. No, 16. Anyway. Looks like Little Mo is going to be out in Q2.
Dario, you mean?
Oh, sorry, Dario. Yeah.
Yeah, Little Mo's going to be making it through into Q2. On a set of intermediates, funnily enough, I think he just managed to get his lucky rabbit's foot in order to just manage to get through there. But now we're just going to be waiting on Angry Davey coming in. Oh, nope, he's retired, nice all done. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. You'll be okay.
That's why I was having issues. My app decides to update.
Oh, weird.
Just bear with me, so get it sorted.
So, have you seen the blue Ferrari?
Oh, don't even talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about that. It's a genius marketing ploy. F1LH AK gets in to the lobby. We'll talk about that in a minute anyway.
So, Tiny getting the fastest lap there at 121.545. Then we had Chuck, Super Striker, Alino, Chuckle, Pippo Kennedy, Lee, Koyx Gamer, Prof was in 9th, 10th was Looney Man. Then we had Ginger, Royal Rumble, Pern Bowden, Angry Davey, and Little Mo. They all will be making it through into the next stage of qualifying. Dario, though, won't be after not being able to set a time and invalidating his final lap, unfortunately. Oh, then we've got Hack that's just coming in now, so he's going to be starting at the back of the grid in 17th. So now moving on to Q2, 15 drivers, 15 minutes. Time to get it on. So blue Ferrari.
I mean, if I was the CEO of HP, I'd be fucking delighted. Sorry, I don't usually swear, but I would be. This is the best marketing move they've ever done. Like, everyone thought it's going to be a baby blue Ferrari. I thought, it was going to be a Man City car, basically. But no.
Yeah.
It's got a handful of dashes of blue on it.
It just looks horrible.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be something.
I don't think it looks horrible. I think it
looks
looks all right. Don't get me wrong, but it's giving me kind of Mana Marussia 2015-16 vibes. It's my only thing.
Wasn't that like further back than that?
No.
Oh, I thought it was like.
Last time we had 22 cars on the grid was 2016, because we had Hash join that same year.
Oh, I thought it was further back than that. Oh well. But yeah, I was expecting it was going to be a bit like, was it John Surtees Ferrari sort of colour back, like what 60 year ago-ish, and where it's the only time the Ferrari wasn't red. Can't remember the exact year it was.
So I will just say, once we get this session started, I don't think, since the app has done that update, it's not seeming to work properly. So I'll try and get it back working, but it doesn't want to connect. Let me give it 5 minutes and see what happens. To be fair, it was a bit dodgy when I first got it, and ever since it's been absolutely fine until it's just done that update there. And no, it doesn't want to work. Yeah, I'll try and get it going. Got a busy track out there. Obviously, forecast, Lee? We expecting some rain here today?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be nice and dry. It's as I suspect, what I'm expecting anyway. I mean, it is Qatar after all.
Yeah, the Middle East is, well, I suppose at the moment, actually, if you've heard some of the news in the Middle East, they've had quite a lot of rain recently, haven't they? They have indeed. Royal Rumble making his way down to turn 1. Sorry if I sound a bit distracted, because I'm desperately trying to get this app working. There's only one other way I can think to do it, so I'm going to try and do that.
Ooh,
and multitask at the same time.
Yep, Royal Rumble getting a little bit out of shape there as he was coming around the exit of turn 2. Just looked like he got on the throttle just a little bit too much. Now down into turn number 6. Managed to navigate that nicely, braking about 30 metres before the turn 7 there. And they're using up the track as much as possible. Now into the triple right-hander of 12, 13 and 14. It doesn't look like much right there, but when you're in that car it feels so much different. It feels so much more quicker, that the corners just come up on you thick and fast. Now coming up to the final corner of the track, and we'll see what time he's going to be able to put on the board as he opens up that DRS. And now we're going to be finding out what time he's going to be able to do. It's a 1:22.544.
Alino goes faster than him after that, yeah, and then Super Striker, and it's a big old queue to the line here. Everyone trying to get a bit of a toe off the other car. Looney Man next up, then the McLaren of Ginge after that. He did a 22, and then Tiny goes fastest, a 1:21.5. He's in the hunt for the championship as well, even though he's an outsider at this point of the season. Here comes Queeks Gamer, one of the drivers who has been on pole quite a few times this season, but he invalidated. Pern Bowden, the next car up. He's let's have a look. Bear with me. Sorry, it should have been more slick than that. Pern Bowden is fourth Q2 appearance this season, and gets himself just inside the top 10 in 9th place as Queeks Gamer backs out of that lap, and Prof now starts his first attempt. I'm still trying to get this app to work again.
Yeah, I'm on board with Prof now as he's just coming to turn 5 now. Navigates turn 6 nicely there. He's just into sector 2. He was
Prof,
going to be able to do...
Prof.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming around the clunky turn 10 there. It's not the easiest of corners to get right. Turn 11 nice and easy, and now just turning 90 degrees to the right for the next 3 corners, and here we go, 90 degree left for the penultimate corner. Made it sound easier than it actually is. Just quite nicely there as well through the penultimate corner. Back to the left-hand side, braking at the 40-metre board, getting on the power as quickly as possible. He's taken a slightly wider line there. That might give him a bit more top-end speed as we cross the timing beacon. He goes 6th fastest, just behind his teammates by just under a 10th between them.
I think it's worth noting that I've noticed a lot of drivers here, as they're coming up to the end of their lap, they're actually used up all their deployment that they can over that one lap.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks because of the... Sorry to cut you off. Because the line's sort of 2/3 of the way down the straight, it uses too much battery because you're using it to start your lap as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. As it goes over that lap, it's... as you go on to your flying lap, it'll still be using up the amount.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like it resets itself, basically.
Yeah. Like you've still got power in the battery, but you're just not allowed to use it. So what I would possibly say is even as they're in the middle of sector 2 would maybe be the best point between 7 and 9 is possibly just tone it down.
Do you know what? I'm going to disagree. I'm going to think here with Chuck at 4, 5 and 6 probably is the best place. Get a bit of braking. It's not too much of a big straight. And then you've got all of these slow corners to traction out of. And that's where I think you do need the battery in this middle sector.
I know, I was meaning like after that and then just here, say. And then just turn it off. Turn it back on here, basically, and then there we go. Might be a bit more difficult, I'm not sure. I'm not in the driver's seat, so yeah. But it would be one of them things that I would look into is it could take quite a bit of time off as you're coming down the straight. I would say it would be better to maybe tone it down at certain parts where you're not going full blast pretty much.
I get you.
Chuck 121.646 puts him into third place. I think he's going to be quite comfortable with that one.
This will mow as well. The next car up, coming through the final corner. What kind of time is he going to put on the board here? This long run to the line, decides to move to the right. 121.6 for him as well. Chuckle on a flyer here, just exited turn 5 and now on the brakes at turn 6, 26.9 in the first sector. We don't know how good that is. Hopefully I'll get the app working again for the next session when it refreshes the session in the game. Through turns 8, now 9. Just a bit of a wait now for the final sector. 54.1 in that middle sector. And I think everyone nowadays, Lee, is liking that downshift on the gearbox at turn 14. The final of the triple right-handers, it's definitely not flat like the other two are. It was in 2021 with the different Aerospec cars, but not with the ground effect generation. Chuckle now coming to the line, and he goes 6th fastest, 121.7. Where's the cut-off going to be, Lee? I think it's going to be a 21.7, 21.6 maybe.
Yeah, it could quite possibly be going to go 21.7, I would say.
To be fair, we should give it a 10th sort of either way, so sort of between a 21.6 to a 21.8 is probably going to be the cut-off, be my guess. Bear with me, just taking my hoodie off because I'm a little bit warm. Not as warm as what it'd be in Qatar, mind. That's the only aspect that they don't have to worry about is the sickness that they had last year.
Yeah, it was a bit wild, to be honest. And I'm actually surprised that they're deciding to go back to Qatar this year.
They're going later in the year, though, aren't they? It's the penultimate race of the season now.
Still, even then, it's still going to be absolutely scorching, I reckon.
Yeah, well, they're doing it at the end of November now, aren't they? The last race of the year is the first week of December, and they're doing Qatar the last week in November.
So, when was it before? I forget.
Mid-October. So it's about 6 weeks later, which they do say is cooler.
Not much by 6 weeks. What would that be? A couple of degrees?
I'm not sure what the Middle East is like in the middle of the summer. Obviously, being close to the equator, they don't have seasons really, so the temperature doesn't change all that much. I think it was more humidity last year, though, wasn't it, that was causing them issues as well? How high the humidity was.
Yeah, and then was it? Remember hearing Logan Sargent on the radio just couldn't handle it. Stroll was passing out and everything. What was it? Both the Alpha Tauris at the time ended up having to be lifted out and everything with their cars and vomiting and everything. I'm like, why was this race continued to go on? You know what I mean? It's like when you've got people like Sargent literally like trying their utmost to keep going, and their health is actually diminishing that much, where they're struggling to keep their eyes open while operating such a high-tech and dangerous piece of machinery. It should have been called off due to health and safety reasons right away.
I think the other problem was as well was the curbing, wasn't it? Where they had that one-off rule
That
for the
was
tyres, which meant
18
everyone
laps.
sort of drove like they're always on quali laps. They didn't really have a choice but to do that. Whereas they said it would have probably been easier if they'd been able to do like a normal 1 or 2 stop and been able to manage the tyres a bit more and not suffer so much G. So that was another issue.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because it was just basically constant high speeds, was it? Just quali lap after quali lap.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be using them tyres for that long, so may as well just push it as much as you can.
So watching Royal Rumble here on his, what's looking like to be his final attempt. He's only got 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock in Q2. As he comes around the final corner, driver's opting to actually miss the apex by a small margin, maybe to get a better launch down this straight. Royal Rumble stays 13th. He's qualified inside Q2 every race this season so far, and it's looking like it's going to be 10 out of 10 of a Q2. 9 out of 9. As he didn't have full quality last week, but he's still qualified 12th last week, so he would still have been in that remit of Q2 anyway. So Royal Rumble been so consistent in qualifying at least, and you know, even though you don't want to be qualifying 11th, 12th, 13th, you've got to give yourself a pat on the back for being so consistent all season. It's just a shame he couldn't be consistently into Q3 all season. Some of the guys have been, actually, that consistent. I mean, let's have a look down here. Pippa Kennedy and Chuck have both raced, as well as Coix Gamer, all raced in every event so far this season. And they've all got themselves inside the top 10 or in Q3, apart from last week. So, amazing stuff from those three.
Yep, I would say quite certainly. Looking right now, who's going to be the ones that are left vulnerable if this caution thing could just people get on the track, please, and get rid of these yellow flags. I can never see the time. It annoys me. Why did EA do this? But yeah, sorry. As
Angry Davies out. Sorry to cut you off. And I think that means Lee's safe. Prop is going slowly. Perm Bowden, he can't be on a lap with the time that's showing. He's into the pit, so that's the end of Q2. And Lee saves himself there with a 121.70. So we were bang on the money, and looking at 3 drivers in the 121.7s as well.
Yep, absolutely smashing there. And between 4th and 10th, it was only like 2 tenths, just over 2 tenths between them. Not actually, less than 2 tenths between them. So really great work from them guys, being so close to seconds. Sorry, it was like I had a frog in my throat there. But just seeing some of the drivers just peeling off into the pits now, and then that'll be Q2 officially come to an end.
So we're just waiting for Prof, I think now. So we go through to Q2 and Q3, sorry, and both Aston Martins look very strong. Just remember, Alino is one of the reserves tonight as well, but still.
Yep. But there we go. Both of the Aston Martins are Pippo and the reserve of Alino getting first and second there. Only a ball here between them, 27 thousandths of a second. Super Striker is third in. We had Tiny fourth, fifth was Chuckle, Koyaks Gamer sixth, seventh was Chuck, Little Mo eighth, and then ninth was Looney Man, and then Lee is 10th, and they'll be moving on to the next stage of qualifying, where they will battle out for that pole position and that extra point. The ones who will not be moving on are Ginge, Prof, Royal Rumble, Parent Bowden and Angry Davy, and they will be starting in the respective places of 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th come the 29 lap race that will be due to start in, well, more than just over a few moments after
About 15 minutes
qualifying
late.
threes.
About
Give or
quarter of
take,
an hour,
yeah.
give or take.
So who's going to be getting that extra point then?
Well, the drivers who have had that extra point this season so far, Tiny's got, we'll go in reverse ascending order. Tiny's had a pole this season. Chuck's had 2. Coit's Gamers had 3. And Pippa Kennedy's had 3. So only 4 drivers have claimed that extra point at the end of Q3 or at the end of qualifying, like it was last week. Are we going to see a 5th driver take a pole this season? Which would mean every other race we had a new pole sitter on average as Lee now comes out of the pits, and one of the Aston Martins, Alino, that is, he's come out of the pits as well. But those 3, especially Chuck, Coix and Pippo, have been fantastic in qualifying this season. Coix Gamer also qualified inside the top 3 8 of 9 times this season as well.
Yeah, we'll say some of these drivers out there have been really, really consistent and constantly getting into the top 3, or at least if they do, then they're just missing out by a small margin.
Sorry, bear me a second.
Yep, no worries. So who's going to be up first? It's looking like it's going to be Alino or Pippa Kennedy. It's going to be Alino who's going to be up first. He's just coming up to turns 12, 13 and 14. So see on board with Alino now. See how he's going to be able to do. He's coming into turn 1. He uses up as much of that track on the entry as possible. And now into turn 2. Nicely done. Using up as much of that track as he can. Trying to extend, reduce the angle of the corner as he can. He's got a Red Bull just behind him of Super Striker, I believe it is. No, is it? Yep, no, it's actually Lee that's just behind. Is he on a lap though? Yeah, he is. Behind Alino there, who's just in front of him. I'll go on board with Lee. They're just coming around turn 10 now. And now along this long turn 11, now the triple right-hander of 12, 13 and 14. And it looks like Lee's actually losing a bit of ground to Alino. We'll see how it's going to fare as they're just came around the last corner. Now we know 121.445, Lee 21.416. Who's going to be up next? It's going to be the other Red Bull of Super Striker to the line. The 122.205. That's not a good time. Well, Looney Man up next in that Alfa Romeo, 121.927. Who's going to be up next? Koyx Gamer, not with Pipple Kennedy, 121.280. Up after that will be Koyx Gamer, who's just coming out the final corner now. Let's see how he's going to fare. He's only got a few metres to go. Is he going to get into 121s? Yes, he does, a 121.282. Oh, 0.02 of a second between him and Pipple Kennedy there for that pole position. So, these guys aren't leaving anything or holding anything back. They're both going for it here, which is what we love to see. Now we've got Chuck just starting a lap. Little Mo's actually in the middle sector. I don't know why he's going so slow. How did you know he's my brother? He actually is, funnily enough.
Sorry, Rick, give me a sec.
Don't worry about it. Chuck now, coming up to turns at 12, 13 and 14. See what he's going to be able to do as he's coming around there. Nicely done there, man, just to keep it within track limits anyway. But then I say that and he just goes and validates his lap at turn 15. Shut up next time, Lee, and you won't be doing a little commentator's curse. We've got Little Mo who's on a lap. Little Mo, we'll see how he's doing now. So into turn 7.
Sorry about that, mate.
No worries. Hey, 2-6. You
That's
good?
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all.
Okay.
Tried to get the app working again as well, guys, and it just still seems to not want to work. Little Mo now finishing sector 3. As he rounds the final corner, DRS open, but just less than 5 minutes to go in the session, and he goes on to provisional pole with a 121.267 for the reserving Haas driver. Tiny, the next car up. He's been on pole once this season. He's on provisional pole for the time being. We've had 3 drivers now get themselves into the 21.2s. 82 hundredths of a second separate first to fourth. And still yet to see 2 drivers finish a lap here.
Yeah, but see, Super Striker, he's actually the first one to get back out onto the track again to the start of his second lap. He's just coming up to turn 3 now on his out lap. So I will say, looking at the top 4 there, 82 thousandths of a second, just 8 hundredths of a second between the four of them. That is incredibly close between them guys, and yeah, any one of them could end up pinching the lead away from Tiny, possibly.
It's
Lehman and Alino.
quite close to call at the moment. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get the street up because I forgot to do it. There we go. Right. Super Striker just about to start what looks like to be his final attempt, Lee, with the amount of time we have left on the clock.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be his final lap, unless if he's doing double warm-up, then it doesn't appear so. As we see that battery draining away. I'm not sure if you've got that up or not. I don't think we do. Oh.
You alright?
Yeah, just brain fart there. Pretty much. I was literally looking at the halos there and I just realised how many sponsors that Red Bull have managed to fit on that car. They've got, what, 5 of them there, just on the halo alone. Like,
yeah, they do have a lot, don't they? Super Striker now coming around the final corner. He sets a 1:21.332.
yeah, we've got Looneyman who's just started his lap a few moments ago, same with Alino. We'll have a look. Wow, did he return the pit lane? I just noticed that there.
Not sure. I don't think he has. Who? Little Mo, do you mean? You said Lino.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll get in sync here, Lee. Who's going to be the first car to finish a lap here? Is it going to be the Alfa Romeo of Looney Man? I think it quite possibly will be. It's Tiny and Quite still on their outlaps, and Chuckle just starting his one and only attempt through the final corner for Looney Man. A long wait to get up to the line, and he goes on to provisional pole, the 120.9 for him, and the checker flag is now out while we wait for Pippo Kennedy and Super Striker to cross the line. First 121.3 for him. Alino gets onto the second row. His teammate Pippo Kennedy, our championship leader, by 2 points, is now making his way to the line. Got 3 poles this season so far. Is it going to be 4 out of 10? It certainly might be. Provisional pole for him here as Lee now comes into the pits, and we've got a bit of a wait for the next 2 cars, being Chuck and Chuckle. And is Chuckle going to be disturbed by the turbulent air from the Williams ahead of him? They make their way around the final 2 corners now, the final one being turn 16. Will that dirty air turn into a good slipstream down the start finish here? Chuck makes his way to the line. It's going to be a 21.4, and Chuckle gets onto the front second row here into third place, 21.1 for him. And Looney Man still on that second row. It's only Coit's Gamer that can see him out of it, and he backs off. And that is it. Pippo Kennedy takes his fourth pole of the season. It's the most of any driver this season so far. And Looney Man alongside him on the front row for the first time this season.
Yeah, we'll say Pippo's been doing absolutely incredible this season in qualifying anyway, managing to get another pole position under his belt. Same with last week as well, managed to get a pole position in Jeddah. Was it Jeddah last week? I'm unsure. I always forget. My brain does fart a lot, so to speak. But just
so I think you need to go to the doctors about that, mate.
So much going on. That's all it is. But yeah, just waiting for Looney Man now to get wheeled into the box. Well, into the garage anyway, sorry. And then we'll be able to commence with the finishings of qualifying and proceed on to the main race. So Pippo Kennedy there getting that fastest lap in that pole position and will be walking away with that extra point. So he's going to be scoring the first point out of round 10. Puts in a 121.754. Then we've got Looneyman in second. Then we've got Tiny in third. Fourth is Chuckle, Alino. Fifth, Lotomo. Sixth. Seventh is Koyx Gamer. Super Striker. Eighth. Ninth is Lee. And Chuck will be starting in 10th. Now we'll be moving on to the main event where we're going to be having 29 laps of racing. And a little key fact to note is that the pit lane time loss is 23 seconds without and with a safety car it's 17 seconds.
Yeah, so it saves you quite a bit of time under that safety car, doesn't it? So while we wait to get started for the race, we'll have a look at tyre strategies. Obviously, no formation lap as per usual. We'll have 17 drivers for this race. As Hack has been waiting for a little while now to get some racing action.
I will say, I pray that it's fixed for in the next blooming game, please.
Formation.
I miss being seeing people lining up.
Yeah, I do as well. We do it in. When I do it in burnt rubber on a Wednesday, it seems to work fine now, to be fair. The only issue that I have is the broadcast shot is horrendous.
Yeah, it always is, really, is it? So, yeah. For some reason, the camera views on this are quite abysmal.
So, tyres, Lee. Tyres. Got one driver on the softs at the moment, that being Chuck. And then we've got a pretty much a split down the middle of softs and medium and hard tyres. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 mediums, 8 softs. I keep saying softs. 8 mediums, 8 hards, and then one set of soft tyres. Desperately still trying to get my screen to work, but it doesn't look like it's going to. So I'll have to go back to what we were doing before. Now, in terms of race wins this season, Tiny's actually got the most. He's got 3, but he's also DNF'd a couple of times this season as well. Pippo Kennedy's got 2 wins, Chuck's got 2, and Chuckle has got 1. Koyx Gamer is yet to see the checkered flag first this season after getting a good amount of pole positions, 3 to be precise. And as I say, qualifying inside the top 3, 8 of the 9 times so far this season. And this is one of those times where he hasn't qualified inside the top 3. So an unusual circumstance not seeing him on the first or second row. Quite wide down into turn 1 as well, isn't it, Lee? A lot of space. There's runoff as well. So we shouldn't see too many issues. Obviously, if anyone was watching the race yesterday in Austria, quite a tight turn 1 there, and Chuckle did not take part in the race after turn 1. Now, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And we're away in Qatar for the 10th round of the season as Holt gets himself a time drive-through penalty there. Pippo getting a pretty good launch, and then Tiny trying to go the long way round here on the Alfa Romeo as Looney tries to go up the inside. His first time on the front row this season on Pippo Kennedy. Into turn 2. Tiny now takes second place as we exit turn 2. The Mercedes of Chuckle is round and into the barrier. That's the second time this week that he's had an incident on lap 1. The Haas of Dario off the circuit, well off the circuit as well, as we go through turns 4 and 5, and on the brakes into turn 6. Is that an Aston Martin trying to send it up the inside, as well as an AlphaTauri on the sister Red Bull car as they go as he tries to go the long way round the scenic route at turn 7, and wants to go through turn 8. Coit's game is still stuck behind Super Striker, but that was a pretty decent first half of lap 1, and as I said, it's quite wide with a lot of runoff here, so it was to be expected.
Yep, it was one of them. People were always going to go in and expect to get in a bit more room, but sometimes more space on track doesn't always mean more room for you. Everybody else is sort of bunching up and trying to get their nose in. But right now, on board with Tiny, could he be possibly going for an overtake here? He's going to have the slipstream, and yep, he's going to be carrying enough speed to get alongside and past that Aston Martin. But how's things going to turn out? Is it going to change up anytime soon? No, it doesn't. It looks like Tiny is actually managing to keep a hold of that lead. Alex Gamer and Chuck side by side as they're going into turn 2. Is Chuck going to be able to get the switch back? He is. Oh, to make a little bit of contact as they're coming into turn 3. They're side by side. Chuck on the outside. There we go. He's getting it done on Kayaks there. Absolutely splendid move there to regain that 7th place again.
Soft tyres working well for Chuck against the medium tyres on the Alpha Tauri. Chuck now on the attack on Super Striker and looking to take that 6th place spot away from him as we go into the windy, twisty part of the middle sector. And then down this short straight going slightly to the left, and then the triple right-hander coming up, which is a bit different, a bit of a different animal in the race with some full fuel on board and with cars just ahead of you and behind you, causing you to have a bit of dirty air and run wide like Super Striker did there into the penultimate corner, on the exit of the penultimate corner, taking a tighter line this time around in the race for the drivers, taking it a bit wider in qualifying to try and get that run out of the corner. Chuck now slips into the aero, pulls out to the aero, now to the inside. The straight line speed is supreme on that Williams, and he goes past without DRS. It's now enabled, but we're going to see it after turn 16, next lap, this lap, at the end of the lap, because we only have one DRS straight here.
Yep, it's just that one there, so they're going to have to only have about 27 times to be able to make a move there. I think we could have DRS here between turns 2 and 4 as well, to be honest, and through the kink of turn 3. I don't see that would be an issue, but we don't. Like Bahrain, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I know it's a bit of a shorter straight than Bahrain, but you could do it there, yeah. I think. Anyway, you never know. I don't know if they brake there or not. Of course, that's one of the indicators of them braking into corners. Looney Man still staying in touch with Pippo Kennedy and Tiny up ahead of them. Little Mo looking strong on the hard tyres as well. Just to remember, he's a reserve for the Haas team this evening. Into the final corner, and we're going to see DRS used for the first time today, and we'll see how powerful it is, especially with these setups being quite high on the downforce because of the long flat out corners we have here, and so of course it's going to be much more effective at a circuit like Qatar with the DRS, with the downforce being so prominent, makes the DRS so prominent.
Yeah, but you're reducing so much more downforce and drag from that car as you're going down that straight compared to, like, say, if it was Monza or something like that. You know, it's not going to be as much of a difference really. But just notice Tiny, they're going a little bit wide at turn 4, so I'll have to keep a wee eye on that. looking like the gaps opened up between Chuck and Super Striker there. It's over a second now, so now Super Striker's going to be under threat from that, basically the Red Bull number 2, the Alpha Tauri of Koyaks.
Koyaks is in a Red Bull sandwich at the moment, isn't he? As he looks to go for a move here at turn 12 and decides that wasn't the best place to go for it. And as you can see, he's being affected by the dirty air of the Red Bull so close to him up ahead. He wants to get past because he's really slowing him up here and letting the group ahead go through. Super Striker pits early here. Well, did he have wing damage, maybe?
I'll stay on board with him and I'll get back to you on that, but is that another? No,
and here goes Lee on Koik's gamer. Koik's obviously not having... Oh no, he does have DRS actually. He did get the DRS from Super Striker, but the slipstream as well, really helping Lee along, and he moves up into 7th place.
Yep, so Super Striker had no front wing damage. I think he just pitted just to get out of the dirty air. Oh, Juggle getting a penalty there. But yeah, Super Striker, I think he just pit to get some clean air and he could basically go for it now. If he gains up about 9 seconds, 10 seconds at least, then that could get him within that window to possibly go up front. Ginge ended up around there at turn number 6, I do believe. I'm unsure what happened there with the drivers, but Chuckle now getting past Perm Bowden there. And now Chuckle up into 11th place. He's got about 6 seconds to the car ahead of him. Well, 5 seconds, sorry, to the car ahead of him, which is Royal Rumble in that Williams. When we look further up, Pippa Kennedy's still not getting close enough. We do know what this lad likes to do. He likes to play it cool and just be patient and be calm, and then strike as it's coming near to the end. As we'll know, it doesn't matter about how hard you battle throughout the race. It matters where that you finish. Oh, Angry Davey getting in 3-second time penalty, ended up getting another penalty there. He's got 11 seconds worth up to now. Dario's got 3 seconds worth and Chuckle has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So Super Striker's not able to make a dent into the time against Tiny right now. He's stayed the same the past lap or two, so he's been on them hard compound tyres. But we'll have to wait and see how things are going to be able to go, if he's going to be able to reel that gap in a bit more before it's time to pit for them off them medium compound tyres.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting call he made to pit very early. I think you're right. I think he just wanted the clean air. Maybe that will work out later on. Prof, yeah, getting past Royal Rumble down the start finish towards turn 1. Pippa Kennedy still sticking with, well, we've really got the top 5 that are all with each other. Chuck is starting to catch up. Lee getting a time penalty there. It is one of the places where it can be quite heavy on time penalties.
Was that turn 7?
Yeah.
6, sorry.
I think it was turn 6, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Both corners really are a bit of a bitch here, I would say. Quite a lot of the corners here, with it being such a fast-natured track. I mean, I will say that the tracks that are usually quite faster, I would say, like Austria, maybe a bit of Monza at certain parts of it, circuits such as like that, you're basically threading the needle constantly. Kota is another one, especially in Sector 1. It is so easy to end up going over the white line and end up in either invalidating if it's qualifying or getting a warning, which will end up leading on to a penalty. You know, so Royal Rumble managing to get past Prof there using that DRS. But, yeah, so Royal Rumble, the tail end of that car just kicking right out there. Is Prof going to go for it? No, he isn't. Decides it better against it. He knew he wouldn't get the traction that he needed. But you could see it's like the nerves are getting to Royal Rumble. He's trying to pull away, but he's forgetting the limitations of that Williams. It's not going to get a proper grip if you're pelting the throttle down, and Prof almost needed to remember that he's got brakes there.
Yeah,
as
the
he
brakes
almost
struggling,
goes
aren't
into
they?
the back of that Williams. Yeah.
Lee back within that 1 second margin of Chuck, and Chuck struggling now on the soft tyres, which is to be expected at this point.
Now, Tiny is one to keep an eye on. Is he? I'm unsure. Oh, just got out of the 1 second range. Well, got over the 1 second range, and he's just Pippo's just managed to keep it in there. Perrin Bowden getting the 3 second time penalty there for exceeding the track limits. Yeah, again, we're on lap 9 now. Chuckle getting another.
Yeah, talking about multiple time penalties. Chuckle's now on 9 seconds. We've got 3 seconds for Lee, Perrin Bowden and Dario, and 14 seconds for Angry Davey.
Yeah, we'll say a few of them are not managing to keep it within the white lines. And, well, you don't keep it within the white lines, then punishments will start ensuing. Prof and Royal Rumble will be battling out a little bit recently, battling out for that 9th position.
Penalties now really starting to flow now, aren't they? Royal Rumble, getting himself 3 seconds as well.
Yeah, we've got Lee on 3 seconds, same with Royal Rumble and Perrin Bowden. Then we've got Chuckle on 9 seconds worth, Dario on 6, and 14 for Angry Davey, who actually ended up getting a drive-through penalty as well at the start of the race, if I remember correctly. Was it him?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe you're right. Tiny, third place in the championship at the moment. He's on 121 points. Now, he's quite a way back from the leaders, but he has got a chance to get back in the fight. As I said earlier on, he is outside favourite now. He's against the odds at this point, but being in the position that he's in, that's all he can do, and just leave it to fate for bad things for his sake to happen to Chuck and Pippo. Chuck in a good position for him, but obviously Pippo not too far behind him, firmly in his rearview mirrors at the moment. So for Tiny's perspective, not going well in terms of Pippo, but a bit better in terms of Chuck down in 7th. And again, just all round not great for Chuck at the moment. Pippo in a strong position as well, having to do, including this one, another 4 races of the championship.
Yeah, true, but yeah, fair enough. Everything could change. All it needs is a Nicholas Latifi inspired moment to happen, and then it could all change up. You never know. But right now, it's looking like the gap's actually spread a little in this top little bunch here. But we've seen drivers starting to peel off into the pits now. We'll see who's just pit. That was Chuck, actually. He's just went and came into the pits, so he's calling it a bit early. Is he going to be able to get some clean air? That's the question. I think he may come out in terms of places. He may be at Perrin Bowden and Ginge, like just behind them.
Yeah, I think he will be. He's out somewhere close to Super Striker. I think, as you said, it's a 23-second pit stop. A Super Striker just goes past, and that pitting early is given Super Striker around a 2.5 second undercut as Pern Bowden is spun. He's in the middle of the track at turn 1.
Yeah, I'm unsure what happened there, whether there was contact with him and Ginge. I'm unsure, I did miss it.
I wonder how long the Super Striker is going to go on these hard tyres. Already looks like he's going reasonably slowly through corners, trying to manage as we've got a retirement for Davey. Yeah, I think that's retiring in the pit lane. We're down to 16, and he had not a great race. It was poor from when he actually the lights went out, getting the drive-through penalty. Tiny now 2 seconds in the lead and just starting to stretch his legs at this point, as we're getting towards pit stop window area of the race now.
Yeah, we should see some of these medium runners, if they're going to be going into a set of hard, probably doing it in the next lap or two, I would suspect. But yeah, seeing as what's going to happen, they're not going to know. Prof and Royal Rumble battling it out again around turn 1. And then into turn 2, Prof's going to have the outside the line. Is he going to be able to bring it back and have the traction and the speed coming out of turn 2? No, he isn't. He's going to have to be patient and wait behind that Williams for another lap.
Yeah, there are limited opportunities for overtakes at this circuit. It's not the greatest. Fortunately, it is wide, but because there's so many twists and turns here, it's so hard to actually get alongside. There's not too many heavy braking zones here. Turn 1 being one of those, and arguably the heaviest and longest braking zone is turn 6, and you're sort of braking 60-70 metres before the corner, so not the easiest track to get past people, but certainly one of the more fun ones to actually drive, and I think drivers do enjoy coming here.
Oh, he knows he's going to go for it here. He's got that DRS on the Haas of a little more ahead, but is he going to go for it? He's having a wee peek down the inside, and he decided better against it. I think he could have got that too, but he's being patient. Oh, Royal Rumble peeling off. No,
Chuck setting the
gets the fast lap.
Yeah, sorry. That was great minds think alike there, or saw alike.
It's like an echo.
Yeah, Super Striker 6.5 seconds back.
Oh, contact
from Chuckle. Is that Ginge and Chuck making contact there?
Yeah, but Chuck just got like such an amount of traction coming out of turn 2 compared to Ginge, and Ginger's just really slow coming out and onto the traction, and he's actually been held up by Ginge here, and I don't think it's in Ginger's best interest to keep battling. Angry Davey left the session now. That's him done for tonight. Yeah, now he's going to have to try and close this gap again to the Red Bull in front, but it shouldn't be too much of a fuss with it being fresh medium tyres compared to the older hard compounds. He's got that gap down to 7/10 right now. Whether Ginger's going to peel off yet, I don't think he is. He's going to be waiting until probably lap 17, I would suspect, at the latest, maybe.
Yeah, 17, 18.
What more?
What about Little Mo? Sorry.
Yeah, he's just been overtaken there by Alino. Now looking back on Chuck, though.
Yeah, rear light flashing on the back of that Williams, which means he's low on energy. No matter, the DRS giving him enough of an opportunity to get alongside and outbrake the Red Bull driver on the outside there, and now up into the top 10. Bit of a comeback drive for Chuck here. He was just slightly on the back foot coming into round 10. Probably thought last week this was going to be the final round of the season. If it was the way, I think he's quite glad as well, Lee, that this isn't the final race of the season, because if it was, at this point, it would not be looking good for him for the championship.
No, but certainly wouldn't. It would be kind of buggered for him right now. He would need to get a good result in order for that to happen. But right now, he's sitting down in 10th. He's 4 seconds away from Trickle. Have a wee quick look at the leader gap. So if he reels in another few seconds, if he boots it in the next few moments, he could actually possibly even take the lead of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, with a lot of them coming into the pits now, aren't they? A lot of them. Pippa Kennedy and Tiny have decided to do the same thing here. Tiny looked like he was held up, but I think that was a bit of a game glitch. We'll keep an eye out for where Chuck is. He's making his way around the final corner now. And like you said, Lee, I think this is going to be very close, actually.
Yeah, we're looking at Chuck now. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Tiny. He's up against Tiny. He's just came out. Is Chuck going to get him? Nope, he's just managed to come out in front of Pippa Kennedy though, so that little 4-lap earlier pit stop for the medium compound tyres is working to his advantage right now, but is it going to be working to his advantage later on? Stop using that battery, Chuck. You're down to near nothing, and when it goes down to nothing, you got nothing left in the tank, as Joe would say. ... you got nothing left.
Per Bowden very close to the back of Royal Rumble as well. These two both have time penalties. How many time penalties? Only one, 3 seconds for the pair. Chuckle, though, having a bit of a problem with track limits today, and he's on 9 seconds worth of penalties. So he's crossed the white line more than 9 times now, or 9 times, and arguably probably, maybe, could be more times now. He could be on more warnings for that fourth 3-second time penalty to make it up to 12 seconds. Lee into the pits. Little Mo and Alino deciding to stay out. Little Mo on the hard tyres, so it's predictable that he's still going to be out on the track. Alino, however, not so much. He should pit pretty soon as Tiny gets past Chuckle, and is Chuckle going to just let his brother go through here or not? We'll keep an eye out for that one as well, as Lee now comes out the pits, and he's going to be side by side with Coix Gamer down into turn 1, as Coix now tries to swoop around the outside. Got the grip of the warmed up hard tyres. Inside line for him here. Lee don't think he really wanted to fight straight out the pit lane, but he's into one now, and he's going to have to try and get back 9th place and hopefully get those tyres up to temperature as quickly as he can. He goes off the circuit. Coix Gamer goes off the circuit, should I say. He does again.
Oh,
and had to let Lee go through.
It's all over the place. Yeah, Coix is all over the place there. He just didn't know whether to keep it on the track or off the track. I think he's seen him going off about 2 or 3 times there. So, not managing to keep it steady there. Lee managing to get that 9th off of him. So, nicely done for him.
Little Mo now trundling down the pit lane. He decides to pit, like you said, the lap 17. You were spot on with that. The hard tyres pitting. Goes on to the mediums for his final stint. Alino stays out for one more tour of the circuit. And where's Little Mo going to fall down to? I think around Looney Man, maybe. Yeah, between Looney Man and Lee. Yeah. And Lee's going to be close, actually, at turn 1. Not too close.
He's not going to be carrying that speed. Yeah. Oh, Chuckle.
That now makes it 12 seconds of penalties for the Mercedes driver in 5th place.
He better not be praying for a safety. Like, he's praying not to get a safety car at this point. With that amount of penalties. I mean, some of them he's not going to lose too much space, judging by a few of the cars behind him that have procured quite a lot of penalties in their time on this track. So, yeah, we're going to wait and see how things are going to go. We're going to have to try and keep it within the white lines, though.
I think Chuckle just let a couple of cars through there, yeah. Alino into the pits. He was 13 seconds behind the leader. Sorry, second place, net first. Tiny, as he makes his way around the final corner. I think Alino's going to come out probably around 10th place. There or thereabouts. There's this big train of cars now coming down the start-finish. And where is Alino going to end up here? 6th place. And he's got Koitsgamer, a couple of them pit as well, so he is around the place where I thought he would be. I thought he was just going to be behind Koitsgamer, and he got out just ahead of him as Royal Rumble now gets past Super Striker and Chuckle both in the pits, and Prop is about to do the same thing. Or is he? Yes, he is.
You sure now? I'm actually surprised to see that Super Striker and Chuckle both went onto the medium compound tyres, but Turnbowden and Alino went on the softs.
I don't think the softs are doing all that well on this circuit.
It's one of them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the mediums are actually grippier than the softs, because, well, sometimes it can be a bit too, what's the word, hot.
Interesting to note, Lee, the championship order of the top 3 are reversed at the moment in this race.
Oh, very good, very nice.
So like I said, Tiny's had 3 wins this season. Could he take 4 after today? He's had 1 DNF this season and he hasn't attended 2 others. So there's been 3 races where he hasn't been able to score points. And that's why he's a good 50, 60 points behind the lead 2.
Oh, just seen Lee there going off the track at turn 1, gets it and penalty. Is that another one? Yep, he's up to 9 seconds now.
9 seconds, Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of penalties, a lot of penalties.
Yeah, it's kind of making me remember back to a few races that I think there was one race that I remember at Qatar that I'd done, and I finished 14th on the track, but I ended up getting bumped all the way up to, like, I think it was 5th or 6th, due to everybody ahead of me having penalties, and I was like, wow, what the hell, pretty much. Just got incredibly lucky in that sense, I would say.
Do you think Chuck is going to be able to hold off Pippo and hold off Looney Man as well on the older medium tyre?
Nope.
Yeah, I think he's going to be clutching at straws here. Yeah, the battery as well, not looking in a good spot. Looney Man in a very, very good position at the moment. He's only finished inside the top 10 3 times this season and not had a podium all season long. Could this be his first podium of the season? He's got Lee behind him with a time penalty as well, so he can relax somewhat about that.
Yeah, I believe he's practically 12 seconds behind him anyway, in that regard, so he's got plenty of space anyway, to say the least. And you see these 3 getting right close, and I think what a Mo and Alino coming close together there.
I think Alino just went past him.
Yeah.
Through turn 6 to gain 6th place. I'm surprised that Pippo hasn't got past yet, because surely he's going to want to try and get as close to Tiny as he can. Every point matters at this point in the season, don't get me wrong, and even a 2nd place is nothing to scoff at at all. But Chuck, I don't think doing him any favours. Is he going to go for a lunge into the final corner? No, he's just going to let DRS do its thing. And I think all Chuck can do is hope and pray that he doesn't lose 2 places, which I think he is going to do, as he stays in the middle and these 2 come together to go side by side into turn 1. Is Looney Man going to go from 4th to 2nd? He's going to try it around the outside, but gets squeezed out by Pippo Kennedy, and Pippo stays in 2nd place. But that was some really good racing, as you can see just in the background there as well. You've got the Red Bull of Lee, Alino in the Aston Martin, and the Haas of Little Mo in a little group together as well. Not too far behind them, but Pippo now into 2nd place, and Looney Man on the podium. But can he stay there till the end?
Reno right on the tail of Lee here. And he's on them soft tyres compared to them older mediums. He's going to be able to get a move done and then possibly catch up to Chuck and Aluminum, who's just sitting within that 1 second, just out with that 1 second range. Oh, and the Lee goes right wide at turn 15 there. And that car did not like him there, and he just got another penalty, and now he's vulnerable to Alino, who just whizzes past him with battery and DRS. Bit much there. Might be wanting to save that battery.
Little Mo going for it as well. Easily done from the American there. And the time is just starting to creep down to Tiny here. Within 3 seconds now, Pippa Kennedy is starting to catch up. But he's bringing some friends along with him as well, if he is catching up, because Looney Man hasn't dropped back at all, nor is Chuck actually. He's still surviving on that older medium tyre.
Yeah, Chuck's doing actually quite well to be on the old tyre, but then now it's going all the way down to 7th place now with this DRS train, from 2nd to 7th. So he's left himself a wee bit vulnerable in that sense in the later parts of the race.
Yeah, well, Lino's looking quick on the soft tyre, and the LED lights on the back of that Williams have not stopped flashing for lap after lap. It must have been flashing for the last 10 minutes or so. He's not had any battery for a long time, nor is Alino, but looks like the DRS and that bit of slipstream is just being able to have a bit of advantage in a straight line, and he goes through as well. But yeah, Chuck not been in any kind of management stage of the race for his battery.
No, I think a lot of them have been like that, to be honest. Oh no, it's actually not. I've seen a few of them though. About half the grid are actually either almost in the red zone or are in the red zone. So yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50 split on who's been taking care of their tyres and of batteries, sorry, and those who haven't, sorry. Chuckle, another one. Honestly, he should be sponsored by DJ Khaled. But now, let me see. Oh, Profit and Chuckle's round. He hasn't had the best of luck these past couple of races, I will say that. It's yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for him. He's 15 seconds. A trip to Lee. Lee's out. Lee's out. We've got a safety car. We've got a safety car. This is going to be spicing things right up now. Who's jumping in? Who's jumping in? Let me see.
And they've just gone past the pit entry as well.
Someone's going to be getting a mighty boost up, and that could be Super Striker.
I think they'll have a doubt. No, he doesn't. So stay out. Royal Rumble's surely going to come in. The rest of them surely going to come in.
Oh, bloody hell. Royal Rumble almost hit that pit entry wall. Now we've got Ginge, he's coming in, so Chuckle's staying out. Oh. Weird. Pernboden, what's he gonna do? I think it'd be ideal for him to pit. Same with Dario and Hack.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how it works in terms of Delta. Do you think they have a Delta or not?
I'll let you know. Nope, they don't. So, these drivers up in front are going to lose a lot of places if they decide to pit. This has been so unfortunate for them.
Well, the first car that pit was Royal Rumble. He's about to come up to turn 7 now, in the middle part of sector 2. The safety car and the rest of the pack are just coming up to the penultimate corner now, and obviously after that corner we've got the pit lane entry. I think they do have a Delta Lee, because they're lifting on straight.
Oh, yeah.
And oh, there's a bit of a mix here. Some drivers deciding they want to stay out. Pippo Kennedy being one of those guys that stays out here.
Ooh.
Oh, you know, do you play it safe when you're in a championship fight at this point of the season? Royal Rumble now making his way around the final corner. He's going to get past some of these, surely.
He's got to. Oh, you've seen cars phasing in and out of each other. I don't like that in this when ghosting's on.
And there you go, look at him jump up there, 4th place.
Royal Rumble pulled off perfect play there.
And he's the first driver on the new tyre. 3 ahead of him are all on new sets.
Yep, bearing in mind though he has got 6 seconds worth of penalties, so if he's able to boost it past everyone quickly, then he could be looking at a really, really good result, considering the drivers ahead of him haven't pitted and are on older tyres, the mediums and the hard compound tyre for Chuckle, Super Striker and Pippo Kennedy, the 3 that are up in front. Fortunately enough for Pippo, he's not got a penalty, so he's in the green there. Chuckle, he's buggered right now anyway. 15 seconds worth of penalties, Chuckle. I'm sorry, but truthful here, you're buggered pretty much. Royal Rumble, it's going to be a toughie, but regarding that there's other drivers there on the soft tyre also just behind them, it's going to be a bit of a toughie for him to be able to pull away and get a good enough advantage, that is.
Yeah, so I think we're going to get going on lap 27. So we won't actually see DRS for the rest of the race, but we will on the start and finish straight, but then halfway down the straight we're going to see the checkered flag.
Yeah, we'll most likely see Pippo end up going out of the final corner, most likely.
Has Pippo made a terrible call here, Lee? Has Super Striker and Chuckle all made terrible calls by not coming into the pits?
Well, Chuckle, I don't think it really matters in his sense as well. Regardless of what happened, he was most likely going to finish near the back of the grid anyway with them penalties. It's just one of these things that happen, but Super Striker, possibly. Pippo Kennedy, I'm really, really unsure about. Yeah, I think he could be vulnerable to Tiny or Looney Man, but the longer this goes on, the better it is for him. And the longer this goes on as well, the better it is for Tiny as well. And Looney Man, who are sitting in 6th and 7th right now, and they're the ones that are only ones besides Pippo Kennedy in the top 8 anyway that have not got a penalty.
Well,
only other ones was Chuck, Littlemo and Koyaks are the only other ones without a penalty. So was that 6? 9 of them have got penalties right now, so it's one of them tracks where it does tend to happen quite often.
So we're going to have 3 laps to go once the safety car peels in, which they will inform us of that at the end of this little straight here. And 3 laps for...
No?
Yeah?
There we go.
There you go. It was a little bit late. A little bit late in the day there.
Cool. I think they had the brain fart maybe.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We won't quit the page on. So, rounding turn 15, for Pippo Kennedy and the rest of the group. When is Pippo going to go? This is very important. The hard tyre doesn't like another heat cycle, and it's going to get one for 3 laps. He can wait all the way to the line, and potentially that's his prerogative. He doesn't want to give any of them a bit of a tow here, and he's gone sort of a third of the way down the straight. Ooh. And actually got quite a good launch here. And is Royal Rumble going to go for the move? Surely he is. Oh, look how much speed he has. He's going to get Super Striker on the outside, and then he comes together with Super Striker here. His car looking out of control. He goes the scenic route around the outside of Super Striker and makes it work. And he's on the charge for that first place, as Tiny's now got a 3-second time penalty. He's run really wide. Yeah, that has made his race go from really good to really blooming awful at this point. So many of them have got time penalties. Chuckle, I think, he's had a bit of an incident as well. Or is he waiting for Tiny to let Tiny go through? And Pippo's still in the lead. Looney Man, the first car that pit to not have a time penalty. I just can't see Pippo maintaining the lead or even maintaining a position in the top 5.
No, he's going to need to try and hold off as much as he can. Royal Rumble could possibly walk away with a win here, depending on... Maybe not. Super Striker is up next.
Well, yeah, we've jinxed that, haven't we? Prof around. Little Mo is now looking in a good place. Chuck as well. He's doing quite well.
Did Royal Rumble break a wing? No, he's done. I think that's him. Yep. Yeah,
Royal Rumble is now retired from the race, unfortunately. As Lisa
Chuckle going for fastest lap.
Yeah, he's coming to the pits, gone for the soft tyre and trying to get an extra point. As Looney Man here.
Going up the inside, the Super Striker. They make contact. This is absolutely spectacular. Super Striker should be called a dodger.
And then Little Mo as well, and he comes together with Super Striker as well. I think Super Striker, actually, from my point of view, is being the over-aggressor here. Overly aggressive in being the aggressor. Looney Man, 1.3 seconds back from Pippo Kennedy. I don't believe this man has ever won a race in RTG, and I don't think he ever has when I've been commentating. I don't know if Lee can remember, but I certainly can't. He hasn't had a podium all season, and as I said, I don't think he's had a win, and if he has, it hasn't been for a very, very long time, and he's in a very healthy position here. Just remember, Little Mo is a reserve, so really, he's just here to make up the numbers. I know it's an awful thing to say, but he literally is here to make up the numbers. Chuck as well. Don't rule him out as we go on to the last lap. Got a lot. I was going to say he has a lot of batteries. Used it all already. DRS enabled on the final lap here, but we're only going to see it to a drag race to the line as Dario's trying to get past Coix Gamer as well, and Looney Man now within in 3/4 of a second of Pippo Kennedy. It's 0.6 of a second now as they make their way around turns 2 and 3. Looney Man has got to put in the best final lap of his sim racing career, really. It's going to be pretty much a flying lap throughout. I wonder if Little Mo is going to cause him some headaches here, because obviously Little Mo will be taken out of proceedings. So I wonder if he'll just hang back and see what Looney Man can do and see if he can take the win. Half a second now, separate Looney Man and Pippo Kennedy with half a lap to go. It's looking good for Looney Man, but he's still got some work to do here, Lee, and he's just waiting to deploy the battery, but he's got to make up the time in these corners here to have any chance of getting a run, as Pippo said, running wide, did you say?
They're both on the red and fuel.
Oh, they're getting close to the limit here around the final corner. Looney Man's going to have to get an excellent launch. Battery being deployed now. DRS open for the final time. But it's going to be no use, is it? No! Pippo Kennedy wins the Qatar Grand Prix and extends his championship advantage into next week at Silverstone. Looney Man missed out on the win by just over 1/10 of a second, but it is his first podium of the season, and Little Mo will be taken out and Chuck will be finishing in third. So still gaining a bag load of points and well within this championship still for Chuck, and I need to have a drink.
I mean, I want to walk out there for a second, and I need to stop because I have a lump in my throat.
I literally did, not for any kind of sentimental reasons. I did just have a lump in my throat.
I will say that I was praying, to be honest, that Looneyman was going to get him, because that would have been absolutely spectacular right to the end of the line. But Pippo Kennedy, ever the defensive genius, managed to pull it off and get that win there just by the skin of his teeth there. So nicely done there from Pippo. Excellent drive from him. Second place at Looneyman. Well, I'm rattling these off. You want to think on driver of the day? We've got Pippo Kennedy managing to get the pole and the win, and then in second on the grid and second in qualifying there was Looneyman. Little Mo third. Fourth was Chuck, who actually done quite well, coming up from 10th position. Super Striker was fifth. Hark, the reserve, coming up from 17th to 6th. Excellent there from him. Koic Schemer 7th. Dario in 8th from 16th. Nicely done. 9th, sorry, for Ginge. Then we had Prof. And then Perm Bowden. We had Chuckle after that. Then we had Alino, Royal Rumble and Tiny, who did not finish but will still be classified in 13th, 14th and 15th. And those who did not finish were Lee and Angry Davey.
So Hack is now a full-time driver, I believe, and that is my driver of the day. 17th to 6th for him, starting at the back. Didn't partake in qualifying and was able to make it up all those places. Excellent work from him.
Yeah, I would say driver of the day then, managing to get up and pull right off there. Nicely done.
Now, I'm not sure, Lee, if you're going to be busy next Monday night. I don't know if Monday's still running.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, so you won't see Lee next Monday. You'll see me next Wednesday, and then you'll be back with me and Lee for the 11th round of season 15th, 11th or 13th now, and that'll be at Silverstone. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Keep subscribing to the channel. Let's get to 380 before the end of F1 23, so by the end of this month. That would be fantastic. Until next Wednesday, and then until next Thursday with me and Lee. We'll see you then. It's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.